Hey guys, I'm HP, this is Dr. Pink, and welcome to Advanced Slow Blues Guitar. Before we get started, make sure subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button, and also join the HPCrazy Guitar Academy with a free member account or a premium account in order to download the files which come along with this tutorial or any other tutorial. So, what are we talking about today? It's really a tough one. I just wrote it for you. Hopefully I can play it. Yeah, and so on. This thing is really tough to play. Why? Because it's extremely slow. I think it's 55 BPM. It's really slow. And to deal with the slowness, you need to first work on the timing. I mean, this tutorial is advanced because you really need total tone control, total timing control in order to fulfill the task. But for beginners or intermediate players, it's also cool to give it a try and to get as near as possible to precision. From the technical part, there's a lot of, let's say, clips which you need to take, which are not so obvious. I'm going to talk about this in the tutorial. So first thing is, since we are really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is the tempo. Da da da. So work with the metronome first, triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or monotone. Let's continue. This one here. So this tempo, okay? I'll just put on the track again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Really work out that you have a feeling for triplets and also now sextols. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these two timing figures need to be as precise as possible, okay? And really work them out first in order to get full precision. Okay. Next thing, it's not a regular blues, so we're gonna check out the blues form here with the chords which are used. Let me switch to the close view. So the form is a regular blues form. At the beginning, 1 bar G, and for the G7 chord, we're not using. We're using this one here. Here, second, third. This is a G9. If you want to add the bass. Let me quick. Oh yeah, and I'm using a really distorted blues sound, but you can also make it with something more regular, just with a Fender amp. So this will be a G9, but because we have a bass player, we don't need this, so we just skip this. This is a G9 chord, okay? Then it goes to C7. This is here, 1 bar, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 3rd. Back to G, 2 bars, then 2 bars C. This is still a regular blues form. Then back to G, and now 1 bar only, C, G9, then 1 bar E7, here 7, 6, 7, 1 bar A7, here 5th, 5th, 6th, and 1 bar D7. And then we have a classic turnaround G7, so to D7, C7 to G7 to D7. So first we're gonna play through the form just with the chords, and the backing track in this case is only drum and bass, which makes your task even more difficult because you have to be really precise and really expressive. So how do you want to play those chords? You know, since it's so slow, you have a lot of time to add some effects. So what I do, I press with the arm against the guitar and give a vibrato. See? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Each time you press, when you have the long note, you press against the guitar and give this vibrato. I'll show you. Two bars. Two bar C. One bar G7. One bar E7. One bar A7, turn around, so these were now just the chords, okay? But now we make it more difficult. Now we play melody line plus chords. So they're pretty tough, but one method which really works is that you repeat a rhythm pattern all the time, or a rhythm motif all the time. In this case, I've chosen this one. I'll show you. I'm gonna go back to my distorted sound. Well, no, I stay here on this. At the end I can do the distorted again. And now we really, because it's only drum and bass, you really have to refer to the chords also with your soloing line. So here we have, we're opening here with the Mixolydian phrase on G. That's the classic opening phrase. So, and it starts 1, 2, always in 4. Then this comes on 1, okay? Then 1, 2, and then comes the chord. So 1, 2, and 3. And then on 4, the opening phrase for the next chord comes, okay? So that's the rhythm motif which is repeated all the time. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. And now comes the opening phrase for the next chord, which will be a C7. Then we have this one. I'm playing a sextol figure here, just an arpeggio of C7, 2, 5, 3, 5, 3. End up on this note, which is a chord note, and then again same method. 1, so 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and then comes again, going back to and then we make something else, something here. But again, it's the same rhythm motif, but we do something other melodic. And now we make a little we're doing this. G to F to C. But you can hear it's still the same rhythm motif, and that keeps the whole thing together. And then comes C7 again. Then we do. Now we change the chord to have a variation, but we add something else. Now we're doing this here, which is the upper part of C9. Same method on the G9, on the C9. Since we have a bass play, we don't need the bass here, that's why we do the short chord. Let me quickly play this first part for you that you can resume what I was talking about. 1, 2, 3. Yo, now we're here, okay? And this stuff seems to be really slow, but tone control is the key to everything. On every spot of what you're playing, you need to have maximum tone control. As an example, the opening phrase, just don't play just like this, play. You can hear the vibrato accelerates to the end and always creates these waves, okay? And also the pause on 2, 1, you can make a dead note here by hitting the strings. You're always making music, there's no pause. Even if you have a pause, like here, you make music. Also here, this little run, make a little story out of it. Just don't play it like just, you can play like this, but make a story. Or, and always try to play laid back, a little bit too late. A little bit, if your front runners in blues is not good, be laid back, try to be behind the beat, but mostly when you're out of balance in your playing, most people, including me, get front runners. If you're a laid back guy, you're on the total control of your tone, and that's what you need to achieve. Total control, and try to be as laid back as possible. Here, now it goes to E. We just go down here, 4 and to E. Again, opening phrase to A7. Here, 7, 5, 7. A7. Now D, we're just playing the arpeggio. Just here 7, 5, 7, 4 to D7. And now we end with the classic blues lick in sextoles. So, bending here, lay down your finger, make it as lettering as possible. And also this one, if you are laid back and letteringy, then you're the go-to guy, and if you're stressed, you don't have time for all this stuff. Okay. Now comes the turnaround to C, G, to D, and then we finished. Okay, so I played the whole thing. And then we finished. Okay, so let's play the whole thing through. But now I go back to my beloved distorted sound. It's way cooler for my taste, but you can choose any sound you like, of course. Okay, so let's go for it. So that was basically the theme. So when you then want to go enter more into soloing, of course, then I would recommend, not require, also require do the talking. On this slow tempo, you know, the talking is something which cannot really be explained. Just think about it, it's a slow that you want to start to argue, you know, like if you would argue in real life. Just don't think too much about timing. It doesn't really make sense on that slow tempo. If you would pull it apart, you probably will recover, I don't know, double sextoles, like 12 notes per beat. Probably it's that, or probably not, because it doesn't really matter. Because keep the whole thing going, you know, the theme in your mind, but then start talking or play other solo lines and refer to what is coming. I'll show you some example. Always think about the laid back. And dynamics. Yo guys, that was advanced slow blues guitar. I mean, just a little insight. This is a topic, you can write books about this. And for sure there are also other opinions on that, not only mine. But I always think about when I play blues, and there's a classic thing, you know, two people arguing, like a husband and a wife having a fight, they argue, and that's how it builds up, and basically that's a lot of times the topic of blues. You know, it's just you have a fight with your wife or your woman and stuff like that, or the opposite, and that's what's going on. And think about these things and think more about emotions and not so much about licks to play. I mean, of course you need to follow the form as I did now, but when it comes to really expressive blues solos, you can listen to guys that play 3 licks all the time, like Albert Collins. I'm a huge fan of his kind of blues, but he just plays 3 licks all the times, but a lot of variations with emotional, these little things. This makes the big difference, and not so much the complicated licks. But of course, it's good to know some figures. So in this case, triplet sextol figures, that you have them for sure. You just pull them out like this, you know. You don't need to think so much about it. Then you can concentrate on the laid-back feeling, on the story you want to tell, and on the form. Don't forget about the form. If the form is a little bit complicated, or a trio, you always need to follow the form. I mean, if you would have a rhythm guitar here, you probably don't need to think anything. You just play pentatonics, which is cool, but it can also be boring. That's all I wanted to say. If you want to download the backing track plus the tabs of the theme which I showed you, it's available in the HPCrazy Guitar Academy. Please join there with a free member account. But in order to download this material, you need a premium member account. And by the way, you're also supporting the work which me and Dr. Pink are doing for the guitar community out there. And please share the word, the knowledge, and stuff like that. See you guys.